So, I came across this video, and this isn't about this guy in particular, but this broader narrative that exists that woke media hates white men, more specifically, straight white men. Now, of course, woke is a completely vacuous term that doesn't really mean anything, and anyone who uses it should have their opinion instantly dismissed. But these sort of videos come from people who count the people in advertisements and think they're making some great point about ethnic minorities being overrepresented. Ignoring, of course, that commercials are often played internationally, sometimes in countries where white people would actually be considered the minority, and presumably as well these people must be equally furious about the massive overrepresentation of Russian meerkats on TV screens. Now, in the context of Doctor Who, there is a lot of legitimate criticism that can be thrown in the face of Russell T Davies. But does he really have a problem with straight white men? Are they always the villains? Well, let's look at this empirically by looking at all the villains in his second tenure as Doctor Who showrunner. First up is Beep the Meep, a small little rodent alien, voiced by lesbian actress Miriam Margolyes. Definitely not a straight white male. Wild Blue Yonder, tricky. The Not Things really just take on the form of whoever's in front of them. So you could say at least 50% of the villains are white male. But if we're to assume they take on their characteristics as well, then you would say this particular incarnation of the Doctor is at a minimum bi-curious. The giggle, and we don't really know the toy maker's sexuality, but gay actor Neil Patrick Harris doesn't play him in a particularly hetero style. Church on Ruby Road, goblins, space babies, a snot monster, Devil's Cord, Maestro is a trans woman, Boom, and I don't know, the ambulance, I guess, or maybe the landmine. 73 yards, and hey, we got there. Roger Apquillem. Finally, undisputed, a straight white male villain. Dot and Bubble, an AI that's had enough of humanity's crap, which is fair enough. And Slug Creatures. No, Lindsay Pepperdine's not a villain. Yes, she's a terrible person, but she's not a villain. And actually, the only resident of Finetime who is portrayed positively is the white male Ricky September. Rogue, and the villains are Bridgerton fanbirds, Legend of Ruby Sunday stroke Empire of Death, Giant Dog God Sutek, Joy to the World, and Villain Guard Corporation, I guess. But we don't know what their board looks like. The Robot Revolution. I guess Alan was a white incel once. I'll give it to them. Lux. And the enemy is quite literally a cartoon character. The Well. An alien creature we never really get a look at. Lucky Day. And yep, we meet Conrad. That's another one for the straight white male column. The Story and the Engine. And our villains are a black man and a black woman. And Abina is actually presented as being bisexual. The Interstellar Song Contest. And our villains are a presumably straight white male and female. Wishworld stroke The Reality War. And Conrad's back, And then we have the Rani, played by an Asian woman, and Mrs. Flood, a white woman, and a CGI monster who I will not even dignify with calling Omega. And no, the baby's not a villain. Don't be ridiculous. Now, to the charts. So the first thing to observe is that straight white men do not make up the majority of Doctor Who villains in the RTD2 era, though you might still argue they're the largest homogeneous group. Look at it in a pie chart, and straight white men only represent 17% of all the villains in the Russell T Davies era. Remove the sexuality aspect, and you still only get to 25% of the villains being white men. There are other ways we can break it down though. We can look at it by ethnicity, and this only counts characters of human appearance. And we can see that, yeah, white people do make up the majority of the villains. Okay, fair enough. Then we can look at it by gender, and there are a lot of inclusions and exclusions here. If you want the full methodology, just put a message in the chat and I'll break it down. And I've put Maestro in other because I don't know how they would define themselves. And we don't quite have full equality here yet, but I'd say that's a fair percentage. Villains aren't always men. Then onto sexual orientation, and same deal as before with inclusions and exclusions. But you'll have to say that's a massive overrepresentation for the LGBT plus community there. Does Russell T Davies just hate gay people or something? The truth is, you could apply this methodology to any serialized program that you wish, and this narrative that straight white men always the villain, it does not stand up to scrutiny. And that's all I've really got to say about that. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe. Help an angel get its wings by hitting the notification bell. And if there's someone you don't like, maybe you could share this video with them. Until next time.